Hey there, my name's Fluffy the Destroyer, and welcome to my channel. So, here's what I did. It's all about pre-orders, but I did something and I'm just wondering because I know what I'm getting into when I do a pre-order. You usually know my stance on it, and it's pretty clear. It's freaking bad, no one should do it. Pre-order should not even exist. I mean, it's all the retailer's fault because they started the whole thing, that whole pre-order culture. And frankly, it's getting out of hand, and I really wish it could, I don't know, that it might seem like a wet dream, but the government just kicks in and do a law or something and say, you know what, it's illegal, but hey, I think I'm going to exaggerate in this, but sometimes I go on Bundle Stars or Green Man Gaming, there's a couple of others like Humble Bundle, GOG, or whatever, and it happens that I buy games there. Sometimes they're really cheap, so why not? It's not because I'm trying to find games that are cheap. It just happens to be that, I just go on the site and bam, they're here. Like, hey, there's a game right there. It's on sale. It's on the front page. I'm not the guy who's going to look and browse through like thousands of games. It's going to be way too tedious, and it's going to take a lot of time. So, and sometimes I want to buy a game, but I can't because it's too high, financial problems, real life issues, blah, blah, blah. And it just gets back to me. Someone talks to me about it. I go on a website. Bam, it's right there. Like coincidence or not, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like the luckiest dude in my life. And Rockstar released Grand Theft Auto 5 not long ago, let's say. Grand Theft Auto 5 was a huge success. Over $1 billion in sales. Revenue, I mean. Well, probably sales as well, like the number of units sold as well. They did really good. I know that overall the game is good. Reviews are good. Generally speaking, the game is very good. But what about if you take Grand Theft Auto 5, because we're going to stay with this one example, you take Grand Theft Auto 5 from a console, then you port it to the PC, to another, like a whole different platform. Would you still pre-order it? In my case, that's what I did, because I did my homework, I know what I'm getting into, I don't want to buy a console, no way. I'm not going to spend like $500, $600 just to play a game. That's not me. I'm going to stick with PC, because for me, PC is the way to go for gaming. There's more liberty to it. There's more freedom to it, in my opinion. That's one of the reasons why I go with PC gaming instead of consoles. Publishers always getting in and just saying to the developers what to say all the frickin' time. It pisses me off. Just look at Battlefield, for example. This is one perfect example. Don't know what I'm talking about, just dig out. You know what? As a matter of fact, go see Total's Biscuit latest video on Battlefield Hardline. Near the end, he tells you a bit about that. It's very vague, but you can see the whole point of the video that Battlefield Hardline doesn't feel like a $60 game. It feels, just make your opinion, but to me, it feels like this shouldn't even have been released like a fully fledged $60 game. But you see this, and I mean, when you pre-order a game on a different platform, is it the same consequences as pre-ordering a game that doesn't even exist yet? Just to be sure, and to be clear as well. This is why it's really bad. I mean, I just noted it down just to make sure that I didn't forget anything here. Like, no matter what the review says, when you spend that $60 of, I would say, like a deposit, or it's considered a deposit because the product is not out yet. And I don't know about the other countries, but here in Canada, for a deposit, if you deposit money for a product, or some part of a deposit, like in this case, the game costs $60. You want to deposit $30 to get the game. The store can actually do whatever you want with that. For example, let's say something bad happens. The game is not out yet. They can do whatever they want. They can actually tell you, you know what, we're going to keep your money and fuck you. They could do that. It's within the law. No one can do a thing about it. Well, except the store owner. But I don't think they're going to do that just to keep their customers. I mean, it's like today's world, it's real competitive. So they will not do that. I don't think so. They have the power to do so. Like I said, you pay $60, you see the review, it's freaking bad. It's like, I don't know, -5 out of 10. It's the worst game, or, you know what, let's be realistic. 6 out of 10, you don't like it, it's a big flop, everyone hates it, it can happen. You're screwed. You're really screwed, and you screw everyone over with this. Because you're telling the developers and the publishers that by giving the $60 in advance, no matter what they do, you care for their product. You love their product. It's also for managing inventory. For example, if a retailer like GameStop or EB Games, I don't know, they do the pre-ordering and they have 200,000 of pre-orders in their store, which is really huge. So let's go realistically. I don't know, 3,000 for their store, for that little corner store there. They're not going to order 10,000 because that's going to be 7,000 units off of the shelves that they have to do something about it. Either dump or, gee, I don't know, just get it back to the publishers or something. It's managing inventory. They have to do space inside the store so they know what to do in that store, because it's like there's a lot of other games as well in that store, so they have to do space. They have to manage inventory. Less loss at the end. It's also like money for this store and not the competitors, because if you spend $60 at EB Games, for example, you're not going to go elsewhere. Even if it's cheaper, you're not going to go at Walmart. Hell no, man. They're going to keep that money. If you want a refund, they're going to give you in-store credits. Let's be realistic here. Today, I swear, I've never seen a store give a full refund, cash money. I haven't. And I'm not talking about the big stores like Walmart. I'm talking about the little stores. The ones that survives. They usually give, not refunds, but like in-store credits. You want that cash back? No problem. We're going to give you $60 in your account over here. So the next time you buy something, we're going to get it from that credit, from your account. Which is usually what people in the business would usually do, because you want to keep your customers. That's one of the things you want to do. Not only you want him to spend or her to spend money in your store, you want to keep that guy. If he's not satisfied, you don't fucking care. You want him to stay here. That's one of the ways. It's really evil, but it's legal. Hey. Wow, and yeah, and you're also telling the publisher, especially the publisher in this case, that no matter what they do, no matter how much they fuck up, no matter what the game looks like in the end, you're telling them, because a big company like that or a big publisher like that, at that point, they're looking at numbers. They're not looking at lines of text that they will receive as, "Oh my god, I love your game," or "Your game is full of shit." No, they're not going to look at that. No. They're going to look at the numbers. 1.2 million of sales? It's good. Well, for the pre-order, I mean. 1.2 million pre-orders of unit. Yeah, that's going to look really good on their books. So what are you telling them? Even if the game looks bad, people love it. They'll continue to do it. Battlefield. Same thing for developers if they're selling alone, which I haven't seen like a game that doesn't have any publishers out there, but it's really possible. It's the same principle. If a developer acting alone just sells a game and like a physical copy and they get it out there, it's going to be the same thing. It's the same principle. You tell them that they're doing a great job and they're going to look at numbers. That's what they want to do. It's like it may be bad, but we got to weed out the bad developers and publishers out there. There's a lot of them there's a lot of games out there that should not be out there. There's a lot of developers and publishers that should not exist, but unfortunately they do. They should get punished or something, or they should get a penalty, but no, they don't. Why? Because it's really simple. Pre-ordering exists. It has to stop. But, like I said in my previous statement, what if a game is already out, It had like great success. Would you pre-order it on another console? On another, not console, but platform? In my case, for example, it could be the case of many. I don't have a console. I don't want to buy it in console. I don't want it on console. I don't even want a console. But I want the game. So I'm willing to wait until it comes out on PC. Are you going to pre-order it? As you may know my opinion right now about it, would you do it? In my case, I've done my work. I've done my studies. I've gone out and read a couple of reviews. Non-spoiler reviews, of course, but I mean, it's Rockstar after all. It's Grand Theft Auto 5. It's not a really huge, complicated story, so, you know, it's more about the gameplay and that you're in it, and more about the fun that you can have in it. So yes, I will get the game. In my case, for this one, yes, it can happen that I do pre-orders, but it's like you're in a casino, you know. You go in a casino and you play. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. That's what happens. It did happen in the past. Hey, I'm not perfect here. There's a game which I can't put my hands on. I think it's a space building type of game, as in you build your space station. No, it's, oh man, what is it? Space-based DF9, big flop. It was on pre-order. I did it. I looked at the game. I looked at everything. It sounded really sweet. It did sound excellent, and over time it just went. It was a big flop. So, like I said, I'm not perfect here. Not everyone is perfect, so I don't know. What about you? Like, when you think about it, Rockstar might have done all of this delay here. It could be well that PC ports, because let's face it, console ports from consoles to PC are not that great. A lot of times you see text, like sometimes it's going to say push start to, push start to play or something. Like, you know, it's like a button from a controller, like this here. You know, it doesn't make any sense. Or you see the text or images of a button, like they didn't do enough work. Or you see controls like multiple actions for one button here, like the A button, for example. Like, for a controller, it's totally understandable. You don't have like a million buttons on that thing, but I'm facing the keyboard here. Why would you want me to dodge and attack at the same time? Like, why would you want me to do multiple actions? As in, I don't know. One of them that's really common is the jump. Sometimes you're going to see a button on a console that jumps, and you have a same function that uses the jump, or the attack and use, for example. That's another one. I'm on a keyboard. It should be all separated. It should be, but it's not. It's just like annoying little things like that. There's a lot of other annoying things out there, from console to PC port, but it's just to show that it's not really great. Also, the performance issues. Oh my god, like sometimes you see those performance issues going through the roof. On console it runs well, but as soon as it's on PC, it follows the same deal, and sometimes it's just going to crash, or the frame will just drop for, I don't know, whatever reason. I'm not a coder here, or I'm not the developer, but I don't have the answer here. Why is it shitty on PCs, but on console it's really great? I don't know why. I really have no clue here. Only thing I can say is if they took enough time to fix those issues, it would have been a really perfect console port. But no, they don't do that because they have a certain time frame. They have a deadline to respect, and because of that, it can become quite a problem. For example, I think it's Darksiders 2. Just looking at the graphics, it's low resolution. It's like the environment is pretty good, but besides that, the quality of the texture, they could have done a better job at it. They didn't do that. Same thing with Sleeping Dogs. They did it, well, they did an HD pack after, thank God. So they worked on it after, but they could have done it from the start. If they said, hey, you know what, we're going to do something awesome here, we're going to wait until all of the HD textures are in it. We're not going to do it as a DLC pack because it's free, but it's still a DLC pack that you have to get and install and everything. It's just complete bullshit. Take enough time, you're going to fix those issues. That's all. You know. And frankly, it's just like it's going to be bad, like I said before. Another thing, you know, if a developer is bad, I just want him to be bad and get out of business. It might seem harsh, but we need that. Because I don't want bad games to get on the pre-order list, and that's what we're getting. When you pre-order a game, you're telling that, you know what, I don't care if it's bad, I want your game. That's what you're telling him. As a consumer, you don't want that. What you want is good quality products. You want good... You pay... Like, you work hard for your money, so you should get something really good for your games. That's my opinion, and I think it makes sense. So, what about you? Would you buy... or would you give money for a pre-order for a game that's already been released? Answer in the comment below. Also, subscribe and rate. Thank you. Bye-bye.